Hello everyone! Today I'm gonna paint a landscape using these three primary colors. I will be mixing and toning down to neutralize the colors I make so they won't be too strong and saturated. Since it's a landscape, I'm not gonna be using strong brilliant tones. So I'm gonna set up my paper. I'm gonna use some masking tape because this painting I wanna make it wet on wet, and that's a lot of water, and I don't want my paper to buckle. First thing I'm gonna do is make some lines just to know where everything goes with this 2H. The sky will be wet on wet, so I'm gonna mix now. I want a grayish purple sky. Since this sky will be wet on wet, the colors will be so soft. I'm with my window fully open, and we have 2 degrees right now, 2 degrees Celsius, because I'm using a new heater and it requires some ventilation at first. I'm gonna do a few brush strokes so that will let the watercolor spread. I'm not gonna paint the whole sky. I'm gonna let some white show to make them look like clouds. I'm sorry, clouds. Now I'm gonna tilt my board to make the watercolors move. I'm gonna pick up that water, maybe with can you see? Yeah, you can see there's like a bit of water. I want to pick that up because if it dries like this, it could make a strong line. And the water that runs towards the borders where the masking tape is, you also need to clean that up, because if your paper dries but your masking tape doesn't, that water will come back to your paper, to your painting, and will leave a mark. Okay, now I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll move on to painting the mountains. While my painting is drying, I wanted to take the time to explain something to you about the composition and how I'm painting this landscape. Since watercolors are very translucent, we always have to paint the lightest tones first, and then we go with the darker tones on top, right? The other thing is, when you have when you're painting a landscape, you can notice that what's farther away from you, it has a more neutral grayish tone, and it doesn't have as much detail as what you have in the foreground. So when painting a landscape, what you'll do is first paint what's farther away, because it'll be lighter in tone and neutral and more neutral. So if I'm painting my landscape like this, I'm doing something like this. I don't know. What's farther away will be the sky and the mountains. So I will paint this in a lighter tone, very, very light. you can use wet on wet to have nice soft clouds. Touch the paper with the tip of your brush very lightly, and since it's wet, the watercolor will spread in a soft organic way. Then you can have your soft cloud. The next thing you're gonna paint are the mountains, but there are some mountains that are farther away and there are some mountains that are closer to you, so those will be your plains. You have one plane here with the mountains that are farther away, like this one would be very far. Then will come this one, and the mountains that will be closer to you will be these two. Maybe this will be a little far and this one will be closer. So when you paint, this one will be more intense and saturated in color, and those far away will be lighter in intensity, will be more neutral. But still they are all neutral, just that these are less neutral. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, what's really in front, in your foreground, will be whatever subject you decide to paint here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some trees here, some trees like this, and they are in my foreground. Some trees coming from the side, maybe. This will be on my foreground, so they will be more pigmented. And since I have so many layers and planes behind these trees, I'm gonna paint this in a more opaque tone or color, or a darker color. So that's what I intend to do now. Now my painting has dried a little. It's not entirely dry. You can see it has buckled a little, but when it's fully dry, this will tense again and will shrink again. It will be flat again. That's what I'm trying to say. Now I want to paint these mountains. I will start with the one that's farther away. Now while this one dries, I won't touch any of this, because if I do, the water will mix and it will make some marks and colors will pass from one mountain to the other and it will be a mess. So I'm gonna paint this one. First time I'm using this paper. It's Canson Heritage. It's called Press 300 GSM, or 140 pounds. The one that's far in the background, it's too dark. I'm gonna lift a little. Should start going green now. This is closer to me, so I should be able to see more saturated colors, pigments. I'm gonna use salt, but for the salt to give me some texture, it needs to have color. I'm adding texture here, and there. Now I'm gonna let this dry, and once it's fully dried, I'm gonna think about what I'm gonna put in the foreground. Okay, my painting has completely dried. I'm gonna clean the salt. I'm gonna rub it with a bit of paper towel, because if I do it with my finger, I'll feel like rubbing sandpaper. Also pretty. I like it. I want to show you. The texture the salt makes. So when you're painting something like a landscape or something that needs to have an organic look and an organic texture, you can use salt. You can also use alcohol. I want to paint a tree. This is the tree trunk, and then some branches. I press down my brush to get a thick line, then I lift it to get a thin line. See? I want to give the tree trunk a little texture. That will show through once it's dried. Some grass here. Now I'm gonna let this dry again, and we'll see how it turns out.